Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, around 14:30, 2:30 UTC, 10:30 EDT on Tuesday, the 2nd of June, the price of Bitcoin fell from around 10,150 US dollars on BitMEX all the way down to $8,600 in the span of 15 minutes. Here's the actual chart, right? It's a straight drop down. No curves, no lumps, no movement. It is directly going straight down. The drop to $8,600 was at least $700 greater than the drop on other exchanges such as Binance, Coinbase, Huobi, and OKEX. As macroeconomist and crypto trader Alex Kruger pointed out in the tweet below, he said Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things today. It was at 8,600 on BitMEX, 9,300 on OKEX, 9,350 on Huobi, 9,300 on Coinbase, and 9,400 on Binance. With BitMEX, of course, do you see this line? With, of course, BitMEX being the lowest of the low. Changpeng Cao said, liquidity saves you money. Also reposting that as well. So what we have right now at the moment is, for those of you who did not see my Twitter post yesterday, BitMEX once again had a flash crash on their website, which caused the price of Bitcoin to go down from roughly around $10,200 to $8,600 in 15 minutes. The craziest part is, I believe it was either yesterday's video or the day before. It was not more than 3 days. I was just saying there's a constant problem with every single time that the price is going up. BitMEX or Coinbase has a flash crash. They have a problem. It gets unplugged. There's always some type of an excuse as to what happened. At the moment, there are multiple theories as to exactly what took place. However, the one that most people are leaning towards is that there was a flash crash once again on BitMEX. This poses a gigantic problem because this is our ninth attempt, that is not a fake number, at trying to pass by and stay above 10,000 US dollars. Here's the movement once again from yesterday or the day before. Bitcoin was around 9,700, went up to around 10,500, stayed at around 10,200, and then slammed down, all because of BitMEX once again. And of course, when other people see that there is a rapid movement downward in price, other cryptocurrency exchanges also follow. The issue once again being, how do we stop this from happening? How are we ever going to stay above 10,000 US dollars if every other day and every other time that the price goes above 10,000, we have a news article that there was a malfunction on Coinbase or a flash crash on BitMEX? How do we stop all of this? If you can kind of say that. This one says, Bitcoin crashes 15% in 3 minutes, $100 million liquidated on BitMEX. This one says, massive Bitcoin plunge was nothing more than traders being traders. This was said by OKCoin executives. Bitcoin dove more than $1,000 on some exchanges on the 2nd of June. Although the event seemed to be the result of simple trading activity, according to OKCoin's head of market development, Matthew, that looks like something else that actually is a word in German. Ficka. Okay. Price movement, like we saw yesterday, typically attracts short-term buyers trying to position for a larger break higher. Bitcoin surged up past $10,400 from $9,450 on the 1st of June, only to fall back down to $9,200 the following day. The first asset even fell below 9,000 on some exchanges, 8,600 on BitMEX. When you look around, another I don't want to use the word excuse, another reasoning as to why prices fell is that people are saying that apparently it was simply just traders having a good old time, trying to make sure that they were acquiring at this price, so on and so forth, which seems completely logical. However, BitMEX's name continues to pop up wherever you look for this news. If you type in Bitcoin plunge, Bitcoin drop, why is Bitcoin going down? Why has Bitcoin gone down? Bitcoin is down, why? Whatever combination of words you decide to use. BitMEX is constantly now once again, I mean, I am not BitMEX. I do not work for BitMEX. I am simply relaying the news that we see before us. However, it is a constant theme. Also a part of this as well. According to Ki-Young Ju, CEO of Crypto Quant, capitulation by an unknown mining pool was responsible for the latest market dip. The miner, who had produced 51 blocks over the past 4 days, may be capitulating. This was reported by Ki-Young Ju. The 51 blocks produced by the mining pool came with a reward of around 637 Bitcoin, 9% of the total over the time period. There's a little chart right there. Meanwhile, since the 20th of May, the largest unknown mining pool, it has the 5th biggest hash rate, moved around 12,571 Bitcoin out of its treasury. As Key explained to Cointelegraph, he said they, mining pools, don't move Bitcoin unless they decide to sell it. Each miner has a different wallet management system. Major mining pools send Bitcoin to exchanges periodically, and the largest unknown mining pool, they only move their Bitcoin when the Bitcoin prices reaches the top. So the other third of the pie is that apparently it was a mining pool. I saw it also, not investigated, reported that it was simply very rich people behind the scenes who had decided to sell off at the exact same time, which, once again, if you look at this chart, it would not be unbelievable to believe that these people acquired here and then planned off selling around the same exact, so they made profits along the way. However, yes, the price of the entire cryptocurrency market was slammed into the ground. It is now unclear if it was simply BitMEX, if it was trading happening on BitMEX, if it was massive amounts of whales simply moving Bitcoin, which is also a very stupid reason, or if it was a gigantic mining pool deciding to sell off large amounts of Bitcoin, even though, once again, the moving of Bitcoin or even the selling off of Bitcoin by any entity, unless someone is selling 3 million Bitcoin at once, it probably should not have any major effect on price. Anyway, yeah, that's the price news. I mean, I wish I could give you more logical price information as to what's happening, but at this point, I mean, if you've been paying attention to anything happening this year, nothing really makes sense anymore, and alas, here we are. So, if you happen to sell before the dip or plan on buying the dip, by all means, go for it. This market is one for the books. Let's move on. Next up, it's been 2 years since the EOS platform made its debut, marking 2 solid years of operation since the mainnet was released. Brendan Bloomer, the CEO of the company behind EOS, Block One, took to Twitter a few hours ago to celebrate the crypto project's 2-year anniversary. He said, or rather in his tweet, Bloomer noted that he is grateful to be part of the team behind EOS, which he describes as the most performant and aligned public blockchain. But they all say that about, I mean, every single blockchain project says that they are the blockchain project. Bloomer believes that this year will be the best year yet for EOS. He said, "I'm so excited, I can't even think straight," he added. There's this tweet right there. While EOS investors would have hoped for a price surge to commemorate, why would there be a price surge? When Bitcoin had been around for 10 years, there wasn't a price surge. When Bitcoin had been around for 11 years, I don't understand the idea that because it's something's, like, if you want a price bump on the anniversary, just expect the prices to go down a day later when everyone's like, why did the price go up? The anniversary did not even spark much recognition for mainstream crypto media, possibly due to EOS's poor performance lately, or just in general. It's 2 years. Like, I can see like the first year, or a 5-year, or a 10-year. No one throws a massive extravaganza for anyone's second birthday. Anyway, yeah, so EOS has been around for 2 years. I assume we're going to be getting news relatively soon about Tron and Cardano and many other coins that came out around the same exact time's birthdays. Cool. Wonderful. This was kind of like all over the place. A lot of people got really excited about this. About the news of EOS being around for 2 years. I will repeat, it is still anyone's game. We are at that point now where every single cryptocurrency project has, I don't even know what words to use. They're all pretty much neck and neck, even regardless of there's a price spike up or down between any coins. I really think it's anybody's game at this point. Ethereum is clearly monetarily farther ahead, and even more so, the people from Block 1 had was it $4 billion ICO? I would have assumed they would have thrown a bit more weight behind EOS stuff as opposed to $100 million into Voice. Anyway, that's the EOS news. Been around for 2 years now. Good job for them. I still see people asking, I guess you missed my other video. I still have my EOS, have not sold my EOS. I still am in possession of my EOS. And when EOS's price goes up, I do plan on liquidating, as I do many other altcoins. Anyway, that's that news. And let's move on. Also in Okay, I Get It news, MoneyGram shares jumped by 31% in the afternoon on Tuesday, a day after reports that the rival company, Western Union, was offering to buy MoneyGram. The deal comes as MoneyGram is about $878 million in debt. That is the scariest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, according to Bloomberg. And as traditional money transfer companies look for ways to compensate for competition from newer outfits like PayPal. I mean, at this point, PayPal is the least of their worries. I'd even go so far to say, I read an article yesterday discussing exactly what changes Libra. Just Libra by itself would bring it. And like it wasn't a praising Libra kind of thing. It was if Facebook, which makes billions already from their everything, is going to be successful in this, other countries are going to jump on it immediately. There's also news that Amazon apparently blockchain this and so that. And there was also rumors before that Walmart coin and what have you. Yeah, I mean, that's the least of their. MoneyGram and Western Union are so, I don't even want to say, no, archaic, outdated. Like it's almost like that, like the Morse code machine. Like we just simply do not need these things anymore, especially when the majority of people have smartphones, even if they are 4 or 5 year old smartphones. You can download an app, you can send Bitcoin back and forth, or even more so, you can just simply use PayPal. So that's the least of their problems. Citing security concerns, the Committee on Foreign Investments in the U.S. had already refused to allow Bitter and Financial, an affiliate company of Alibaba, to purchase the Dallas-based MoneyGram. Western Union, whose stock was up 11% Tuesday afternoon, began in 1851, when people still ate rocks and stuff in New York, and now is headquartered in Denver. So the news, of course, is that MoneyGram is potentially going to be acquired by Western Union. For those of you who don't know the other portion of that story, Ripple and MoneyGram have also partnered years ago, and MoneyGram has been using XRP. I guess depending on where you looked in the crypto space, the news either was, here we go, that Western Union is acquiring MoneyGram because MoneyGram is using XRP and therefore they want to absorb this usage, or that simply MoneyGram was going to be acquired by Western Union and Western Union was going to put an end to the XRP stuff. Or simply, I don't know. I mean, depending on how strong your tinfoil hat is, there were millions of things. People kept on asking me this yesterday. I saw the news. Like, I get the significance, but it's not necessarily crypto news. This is why people were putting the pieces together, saying that this had something to do with XRP. I think it's far from it. I think $878 million is a very huge reason for them to be acquired by a rival company. But both of these companies don't have, unless MoneyGram, Western Union, and any other company like them decide to create their own digital currency, which is not going. Look how dirty this sign is. Like, that's how dirty these companies are. Like, there's no chance in the near future that these companies are going to innovate like dramatically enough for them to be able to keep up. Like, that's just not going to be a thing. Anyway, so that's the MoneyGram, Western Union, potentially Ripple kind of news. I assume if there's a partnership or something going on with Ripple, we will hear about it in the next 9 months because non-disclosure agreements. But as of now, it is probably safe to assume that it's probably just one company trying to absorb their rival. Let's move on. Also in the news, the liquidity index for XRP, paired with the Mexican peso, has hit a new record on Mexico's largest crypto exchange, Bitso. Liquidity in the market refers to how easily a digital asset can be converted into cash or swapped for other cryptocurrencies without affecting the stability of its price. High liquidity indicates a stable market. According to the liquidity index bot, the liquidity index of XRP to the Mexican peso on Bitso has risen steadily over the last 4 days from 32 million to 35 million and 36 million on the 29th before peaking at 36 million on the 30th of May, surpassing the previous record of 36 million. There are the numbers right there. This news, stopping, this news is very similar to the news. I'm not sure if we went over it or whatever. I think there was also a huge liquidity spike boost trend thingy happening between XRP and the Philippine peso. I think that's what it was. It was some Southeast Asian currency that is also using XRP to send money through remittances around the world that also saw a major spike. We've also seen over the last couple of months, if you've been looking at the XRP ledger, there's a lot more XRP flowing through it. It's either speculative that it's simply new companies who are testing it or companies behind the scenes who already said that they were going to be using it are now using it even more. Who knows what it is, but XRP is slowly rising in use. If I can say that. Sure. It's once, I mean, I don't even know how to even put these thoughts into words anymore. There have been so many coins that have said, and I mean, it's across the board. Like, it's not just XRP. It's kind of in general. Like, I think it's really anybody's game right now. Like, I feel like anybody can pass XRP. I feel like anybody can pass. No one's gonna pass Bitcoin. It's just more of a. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a huge shuffle in the top 10, the top 15, the top 20 coins over the next year. It's fascinating to see that XRP's liquidity can go up on multiple different exchanges, or more usage, or more people are buying it, or more institutional interest. But the price just simply kind of falters. But I mean, on this in the same exact breath, you also have Bitcoin being used more and traded more, and so, and then somebody moves coins and then drops by 15%. So that's also not the most liquid thing ever. I wonder exactly, and you never really hear about this spoken as well, how much liquidity would Bitcoin need for it to actually not suffer from these movements anymore? If someone can simply move 14,000 coins, or if someone can sell 14,000 coins, how much does each Bitcoin have to be? And how much liquidity, as in daily trading volume, do we need in order for these things to stop happening? Do we need like $500 billion per day? Does Bitcoin's price have to be 85,000? Like, what's the line where mathematically we would see less fluctuations of people doing these things? Never really get those numbers. Anyway, that's all the XRP news for today. And yeah, let's move on. And to finish things off, after fighting a legal case for 2 years, America's largest bank, JP Morgan Chase, will pay $2.5 million to settle a class action lawsuit over extra fees on cryptocurrency purchases. In 2018, the plaintiffs, I'm not reading out their names because it's too much, filed a lawsuit against JP Morgan in a Manhattan federal court, accusing the bank of charging customers additional fees in the form of cash advances for crypto purchases made with credit. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. All right. I mean, if the three of them are splitting 2.5 million, happy birthday to them. The trouble started in early 2018 during the period of the crypto bull market, when several banks, including JP Morgan, decided to block their customers from purchasing cryptocurrencies using credit cards. However, JP Morgan did not immediately inform clients that it had started treating credit card purchases of digital assets as cash advances. The banking giant only announced on this update 10 days after implementing the changes, a move the plaintiffs considered as a violation of cardholders' terms of services. For those of you who were not here in 2017, I mean, this is why whenever we hear, what was the other one we just heard? Prime mortgage price, big bank, big money. I'm not going to get the name. I can see it in my head, but whichever bank we were just talking about 3 or 4 days ago who said that Bitcoin is a farce and no one should buy Bitcoin and Bitcoin is a this and how dare you buy Bitcoin. The same exact things were repeated by so many other banks, and JP Morgan led the pack, and now JP Morgan owns Bitcoin and is buying Bitcoin and is mining Bitcoin and is in love with Bitcoin just as everyone else. What happened is that as the cryptocurrency market, this is why, oh my gosh, like everything is so connected together. The cryptocurrency market began to go wild around May, June of 2017. Prices were spiking, things were going up. And the issue was that as people were trying to buy them, and it was firstly with debit and credit, people's purchases were being denied, which led a lot of people to get really angry as well because they were trying to buy at a certain price. And their buys kept on being denied. And eventually the ones for debit, the money that you actually have on your account, were going through and people were like, okay, it's fine. And then multiple banks were denying people credit card purchases of cryptocurrencies because they said that the banks were afraid that people wouldn't be able to pay back the debt that people had purchased for like the crypto for. i.e., they were okay with people buying homes, getting mortgages, buying cars, leasing this and buying that, $15,000 in debt, but people buying $800 worth of Bitcoin, that crossed the line, and it simply couldn't happen because a couple of things. Banks saw their businesses, floating away. People were finding other methods to be able to buy these things, and also people were choosing not to put their money into their bank accounts. They were taking their money out of the bank accounts to put into the cryptocurrency space, which then also led us to the news that we got in 2019 as to why we got Bitcoin futures in 2017. A lot of people were kind of confused. Whoa. And then also very happy that we got Bitcoin futures because it was going to be this new, amazing, wonderful thing that would allow people to enter the cryptocurrency space. However, the moment the Bitcoin futures got started, prices began to go down because we found out that apparently the Bitcoin futures were only allowed by the US government to go through because the Bitcoin, the Bitcoin market was far too optimistic, and therefore there needed to be a market where people could bet against it. Which was also tying into the exact same thing from before. Crypto prices were going too high. Banks weren't in it, so banks were definitely not profiting from it. And this is why they all want to hold and buy and sell and trade cryptocurrencies now so they can make the money from when the prices do go back up. And also, it led them to be super afraid. Like, imagine you owning the world for 400 or 500 years. Something comes out 7-8 years ago, and all of a sudden people are choosing to use that as opposed to your system, and they're not even paying you. Like, they're simply taking money out of the things that you own, that you make money from, to put it into a brand new system, and this is why we have Bitcoin. So dragging it all back from that history lesson, JP Morgan, I guess, was like, okay, fine, we'll give you the money. 2.5 million is a lot of money. Like, it may not be $100 million lawsuit, but that's still a substantial amount for being, to say that, I assume, to say that, we're sorry for what we for what we did, because this happened a lot all over the place, and it's still continuing in other countries as well. Like the what was it? The government of India just had to tell the, I don't remember all the specifics. Whoever they told that it's, the crypto is totally legal. You should be able to buy with it. And now banks are still trying to stop people from buying. It's all complete nonsense. And this is, I mean, I would love to see this movement sped up rapidly. Because what's only going to end up happening is that banks are going to make sure that they also hold portions of these as well. So when the prices do go up, they also profit from them as well. It's only because, once again, people take too long to do things. People take too long to get into these markets, or simply have no idea what's going on. Like the news that we had yesterday, the guy was like, Bitcoin would be at $1 trillion per coin if people really understood that they don't have to use banks anymore, that they don't have to use the old system, that they can, right now, logically, we already have a system that allows every single person on the planet to be in it. And even as far as, I understand that there may be people around the world who do not have access to smartphones. People throw out smartphones every day. Like, we could logically send those smartphones, the old used ones that still work, to other people around the world, and they would then have access to be able to download the apps, because we have tons of satellites going around us because of life, and also the Bitcoin satellites, and also all the Elon Musk future satellites that will allow people to download these apps and use Bitcoin or Litecoin or XRP. Like, we have the system there. Like, it's not like the system doesn't already exist. Anyway, yeah, so JP Morgan paid for, I mean, how dare you? Like, why do these things? Like, what's the point of constantly being fraudulent? Like, even the news that we had before, where apparently there were large boats floating around the ocean, and they were full of gold from all of these banks who were secretly also trying to move them to other countries. It's just complete nonsense. Like, you wonder why people don't like your system anymore. It's this, like, just stop lying. Just tell the truth. Make sure that you're doing things correctly. Like, how many more people would love banks? Like, the idea of a bank isn't a terrible thing. Like, I don't want to have $35 million sitting on my front porch. Like, I would gladly put it inside of a bank if they had proper monthly fees, if I knew they weren't criminals, if I knew they weren't desperately trying to suck as much money from people as possible, and they did like proper ethical things. Like, imagine a world where we have banks and they're nice, like where they actually do what they said they're going to do, and they help people actually save money and raise money, and they have proper interest rates, and they're not trying to make them negative so that they can take extra money from your account in an effort to put more money into their coffers because people aren't using them and no one likes them. It's just complete nonsense. So this is why I get so riled up sometimes, because it's like being hungry and you're sitting at a buffet and you're like, oh, there's nothing to eat. There's tons to eat. We have the systems already. This is why I also get a little frustrated when it takes Ethereum 5 years to update, or when it takes EOS whatever amount of years to do so-and-so, or Cardano 3 years to launch Shelly and all this other stuff. It's like, just do it. Stop talking about it. Get to work. Launch all of these things so that we don't have to use the old system anymore. Like, stop having these celebrations and these meetings and these, what was the thing that Cardano had last year, where like we were, if sometime around May as well, we were expecting to get Shelly, and they had a whole thing in Bulgaria or something. It was like a 4-day event. Stop having these things. Just work on the, I'm trying not to curse. Just launch the things, get everything moving so that we can start having proper alternatives to be able to not have to use the banking system. It's not that difficult. Stop it. Just get to work, do it, because I would love in 10 years, I would absolutely love if the Lightning Network was going in full force, if XRP was doing 30, 50, 70,000 transactions per second, if Tron, I don't care for Tron, if Tron was like the place where people went for video games, EOS was doing this, Ethereum had that, like if they all had come to their own. But even the 10-year time frame, this is why a lot of times people are like, why are you so bullish on Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin does what it says it's going to do. We know it's slow, we know it's clunky, we know it's so-and-so, but it still transfers back and forth. Like, Bitcoin doesn't promise us all these revolutionary things that it just doesn't have. If by the end of this month, in 6 days, Shelly's supposed to begin launch. And by the end of this month, we should have a Shelly. Like, Shelly should be completely there. And then sometime in July, August, or September, we should have Ethereum 2.0. If it doesn't happen, I've already lost faith for so many altcoins. Completely lost faith. It's just completely logical. Just get it together, because this can't keep happening. People are already being told that you can't use your own money. You can't take out your own money. If you're using your money, where's your money going? You have to tell us what you're doing with it. That's not the point of a bank. You're supposed to be securing the money that I'm giving to you because I trust you, not you overcharging me or telling me that I can and cannot do with my money. Or if I'm trying, it's completely illogical. Get a move on. Stop it. Just it's so fatiguing. It's so fatiguing because there's so little logic in all of this. Like, logically, the top 15 cryptocurrencies, and I'll be kind and I'll say all 15 cryptocurrencies. If all the money in the world could just flow into those, we'd have enough systems that it would be able to handle the actual transactions that the entire world would need. You know, some of them do 3 transactions per second, but some of them also do 5,000. Some of them do 10,000. Like, we'd be fine. We'd have some delays in payments for a while until these systems are upgraded, but we'd have a world that was properly decentralized and wasn't relying on the old system, because these things are going to continue to happen. I assure you, between Bitcoin trying in desperation to pass by 10,000 or finally getting to $20,000, how many banks around the world are going to stop people from being able to buy into this market? Which is also terribly selfish. You can't tell people what they can and can't do with their own damn money. It's nonsense. Like, none of this makes... Okay, all right, I'm done, because my blood pressure sugar is high. All right. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbite University, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia569, Yasha Harari, Moonman High, XRP, The Pothead, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stroyo, Chongololo, Tongololo, Nostromo, John Sarsi, Anna Marita, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Gray, Sigma, Himmeroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 2 for Truth of the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas Renaud, Peace, One Love, Damien Setson, Nick Kanai, Rishi Shathur, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Manja, Lavoni, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minty Coins, Miller, Hitchess, Everyday, and Kyle Skips, Like Day, Yes to Crypto, Body, McBoatface, Andy, Philip, Responsible Staff, Arithmetic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Maj, Vanessa, on Crypto with Lana, Crayla, Michelle, URL, hold on, I have to sneeze. Thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this new channel. And thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market looks like this. It just looks ridiculous. Bitcoin is currently at 9,500. Ethereum is at almost at 23,000, because I was looking at it's at $237 at the moment. XRP is at 20 once again. Everything has fallen. Cardano's up by 0.12%. Question mark. It could be anything. Lumens is also up. There was another coin that was up, and that's a stable coin. And NEM is also up on $29 million volume. Whoop-de-doo. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that the crypto market is desperate to go back up, because these drops mean nothing. The drops keep happening for no apparent reason. Nothing has happened to Bitcoin. Nothing negative has happened to Ether. XRP hasn't stopped moving. Binance coin is still a coin. Cardano's still chugging along. None of the fundamentals have actually changed, except for that there was someone or something or a person or a robot or a group of people or a gigantic sea animal who decided to sell off. Nothing else has changed. And what's going to happen is that we're going to start getting news in a couple of days that Bitcoin is at 9,700. Bitcoin is at 9,800. Can it pass by 10,000? Of course it can pass by 10,000. It's a matter of if it's going to stay above 10,000, because BitMEX or Coinbase is going to have some type of new problem. And then they'll tell us 24 hours later, oh, sorry, we went offline for 5 to 15 minutes. It was an error. It was a bug. And everyone's just going to go, oh, okay, that's totally fine. As opposed to just stopping to use these websites in general. I think we'd all be a lot better off, because it's just absolute nonsense what keeps happening over and over. People were asking and always ask, like, why I get so heated, why I get so frustrated, why I have so much emotion in the space, because it's stupid. The entire cryptocurrency. Do you see these drops? This drop is indicative of a moment where Bitcoin's network stopped working. You would need Bitcoin to have 15 minutes of inactivity. Nothing's happening. Nothing's being mined. No transactions are going through for people to actually panic and then sell off. Why is it that cryptocurrency exchanges Not even the traders back and forth who are trading the coins. Why are cryptocurrency exchanges constantly responsible for cryptocurrency prices going down? Over and over, all the time. I wrote it yesterday. Like, it's one thing if we have these once every 7, 8, 9 months, like, and not like, so that's like roughly maybe once or twice within a year, maybe. This is like the 7th or 8th time in the last 3 months. What's going on? Like, why aren't people more up in arms over all of this? Because it's going to continue to happen. And then the next time we're going to have the same exact conversation. Why did Bitcoin drop? Why did Bitcoin go down? Oh, because BitMEX. Oh, because Coinbase, somebody tripped over a cord. Oh, because this place, why do they have so much power in the actual movement of these coins? And like I said, it's not even if me, you, them, they, us, all of us are trading the coins. That's one thing. It's nonsense. These flash, like, this is complete nonsense, and it ruins everyone's money. It's not even just mine. It ruins everyone who I know who's in the crypto market, and for all of you as well. Do you want to keep going through these things over and over? Why is it that they haven't fixed their systems? Why is it that there always is a major problem every week and a half, and tons of people? This is a huge loss. And now we have to wait for days for Bitcoin to potentially try to go back up. You know how many articles I saw saying that this movement down by bears was indicative that Bitcoin could potentially go back to 8,000? This wasn't bears. This was a flash crash through manipulation from possibly one person. That's one huge bear. That bear's the size of about 15 houses then. No one's negative on the market. It's just that people always, one seller keeps selling, or someone unplugs the website. And then it goes down. Everyone suspects what's going on, what's happening. It goes back on, people panic sell, and then we're left in this situation over and over again. This isn't the first time. This is multiple times just this year. This is like after March, all this stuff keeps happening. Anyway, I hope in some fashion and or way and or shape that you all enjoyed. I hope you all are having, or try to have, regardless of prices going back down. They will go back up, but I'm not in the mood really to have this discussion again in a couple of weeks when prices go back down. It's not bears. There are no animals in this market. It's usually one jerk who sells, and the rest of the market freaks out. Someone moved 50 Bitcoin and the price lost its mind. Why is this market so immature? I hope you all enjoyed, ? Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, this is how I feel. This is exactly how I feel. Like I'm this ugly bull. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.